Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. Welcome to our usual Thursday get-together at Lira in Law. Welcome to this rather cold, ang lamig nga ngayon, no? Hence the turtleneck, no? It's our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Thank you very much for joining me again. And as usual po, packed full of interesting information, very interesting questions, no, and of course our topic. No, it never ceases to amaze me. Certainly in the last, siguro, especially in the last 2 years, actually 3 years, it's been immigration can be maybe the best word to describe it is challenging. But it's also been quite interesting, at least from a practitioner's point of view. It's been quite interesting. For people, it's been quite concerning, no? And certainly the last few weeks, announcements now from the government, and also different parties, what they say they will do in relation to immigration, that has not lessened anxiety being caused to people. So ang pag-uusapin po natin ngayon, as usual, are things that concern you most, no? Because I try always to focus on things that are relevant. No? So it's thank you very much again for joining me, and I hope that if you have friends, family that you think baka interesado sila, or indeed if what we our discussion can help them, please pass it on. Sharing is caring. And actually, in this case, it's absolutely true. Because it could be na nag-aalala sila, but actually there's nothing really to worry about. And certainly some of our questions tonight will bear that out. Also, it could be that they should worry. The flip side of it, they're not worried enough. They should be doing something about it. Again, one of the things na pag-uusapan nga natin ngayon. Now, following on from last week. Oh, by the way, last week, ang topic nga natin, of course, was indefinite leave to remain. Dahil man daming ang chismis na mawawala ng indefinite, tapos and all of that, no? So I dealt with it, and I hope I dealt with it sufficiently with sufficient detail to try and so hindi ka ganong mag-alala. That has had one of the highest views we've had, over 1,000 views nga, and so it's clearly something that worries people. So following on from that, ang topic po natin ngayon is British citizenship. Because just as yung chismis nga is wala nang indefinite, kung kahit na indefinite na nga kayo dito, you still be sent back, pabawiin na nila. Hindi po yung tama, hindi po yung totoo. But that has also snowballed into British citizenship. So ang balita nga ngayon, ay chismis nga ngayon, and that's all it is, no? Chismis nga lang. And there's no truth in it. Is whether or not ang chismis nga, you can't be British anymore, no? Wala na. Kung hindi ka British ngayon, that's too bad, no? Tapos na. There's no way of becoming British. Hindi po yun din tama. But what we will be looking at is what are the things that can cause you problems if you apply nga or if you want to become British. So kung Pinoy nga kayo, if you want to become dual, for example nga dito, no? So yun ang focus po natin ngayon. So just as interesting, I think, as last week, and just as concerning for a lot of people, no? So yun ang topic po natin. But of course, hindi lang nga yung pag-uusapan natin. Pag-uusapan nga din natin yung mga the people who put in, viewers natin who put in questions. Again, concerns about indefinite leave to remain. Skilled worker route nga, no? So all those things pag-uusapan nga din natin. Because clearly it's of concern to people. So I hope that you continue to tune in and you keep me company, no? At saka, don't forget, no? I do, ang paborito ko, those of you who always watch, alam nyo, ang sasabihin ko, which is my favorite part of our show is the batian nga natin, no? So people who are just saying hello. So kung nanonood kayo, huwag kayo mahiya, no? You don't even need to give your name. Just say hello. And for those of you who are, regulars nga natin, no? No, don't no. Please say hello as usual. No, because I do miss it when you don't say hello. And it is, I like the whole thing. Oh, Thursdays is often the highlight of my week because I get to see, no, I get to spend time with you, and I really do enjoy it. And I hope that you also enjoy it. Yeah. But the best part, as I say, is people saying hello. So please do say hello now. I'm not going to use up much more of our time because marami tayong topic, malalim mga topic natin. So of course, we need to spend time on that. So we're just going to take a quick break. Saglit nga lang po, and I'll be right back and we'll launch into our topic, British citizenship. Okay? Sandali lang po. Welcome back po. Welcome back to Lira in Law. Or with you, of course, our usual Thursday get together. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat. Hindi ko say my last name then. Lira Simon Kabatbat po ang pangalan ko. Abogado po ako dito. I am a solicitor of 33 years. Actually, soon, as in February next year, I will be 34 years post-qualification experience. Can you believe it? I mean, I can't believe it. 34 years post-qualification experience. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa yung kasama yung training ko, pag-aaral ko. So, if you add those, then I'm probably knocking on to nearly 40 years doing this in law. So, it's a long time. And you can imagine, no? I mean, longevity, not always, but usually means you enjoy what you do. And I really do. Those of you know kalayante ko who I've had the pleasure of advising, you know, I hope no how passionate I am about the law, and certainly immigration. Immigration, you either will despair you or you continue to be passionate about it, and because of the challenges. Anyway, without further ado, let's launch into our topic, which is British citizenship. Now, lots of confusion in the past. When I say past, actually, in the last few weeks, in fact. And I think partly dahil nga galing sa gobyerno, following on from their published white paper in May, and then there was, of course, the conference the Labour Party conference, and then, of course, there are the conferences from the other parties, and that includes a party who says, "Oh, no, we're going to now no more British citizenship for foreigners." So all sorts of things being touted, no. So however, the starting point is, look, what's being said is not necessarily correct, and then what sometimes happens is something is said, tapos it's embellished, no? So, no, dagdagan pa. Like chismis, no? Meron kang narinig, sinabi mo sa ibang tao, dinagdagan pa nila, and then it mushrooms. And that's really, that then causes people, anxiety. Dahil una nga, no, it's something that affects them personally or their family. And also, they then don't know what to do about it. Then hindi nga nila alam, tama ba to? And so what you do as a start, what you can do, and I hope that you do, is come and join us, and we can have a discussion. And ang topic po natin nga ngayon is British citizenship, because it is one of those topics that have become have caused concerns, to people. Dahil ang daming mga chismis, ang daming sinasabi nila, wala na, hindi ka na pwede, it doesn't matter kung anong klaseng visa mo, hindi ka na makakakuha. So all those things are being thrown out there. no, with embellishment. So it's what I hope to be able to do today is actually, put your mind at ease a little bit, or indeed get you moving. No, so British citizenship. Now, una, let's just look at what that is. So sometimes mga kliyente ko sabi, no, I want to get British passport, and that normally means you want to apply for citizenship. Now, there are two processes to get a British passport. Ang una nga, it's called, for adults, naturalization, ang tawag. Now, once you become naturalized, then at that point, British na kayo. It's not when you get your passport, but rather when you become naturalized. Yung certificate nyo, nabibigay sa inyo to say that you're British. At that point, British na nga kayo. But of course, you need a British passport to travel. The second, evidence of your citizenship, the second process nga is actually applying for a British passport, because of course then it will be your first British passport. So when you say to someone, I'm applying for British passport, ibig sabihin nila siguro is the citizenship, the naturalization, and then after that nga, the British passport itself. So it's a two-stage process. Of course, if you have indefinite leave to remain, you want to be able to prove it. There's potentially a third stage before the naturalization even, which is an application for NTL, no time limit, e-visa, but that's another story. Maybe we can discuss that next week. So to become British, to successfully apply for naturalization, ang kailangan pakita. Now, at the moment, and this may well change, kailangan pakita usually that you've been in the United Kingdom for a minimum of 5 years. The last 12 months must be indefinite, but there are variations to that. So it's if you're married, for example, to a British citizen, then it could you don't also need to wait the usual 12 months between indefinite leave to remain to apply then for naturalization. You can apply immediately as soon as you become as soon as you get indefinite leave to remain. So there are different routes to getting to being entitled to apply for naturalization. So in due course, British citizenship. And so there are people now who don't bother because they're happy with having indefinite leave to remain. And at the moment, that's entirely up to you. Of course, you can continue to just hold your indefinite leave to remain. A lot of people are worrying about it because they're thinking, well, maybe added restrictions are put, and that would then make it very difficult to applying for naturalization, therefore British citizenship. Mga kliyente ko, kung tinatanong nila sa akin, would I advise that they apply for naturalization, therefore British citizenship? Now, my answer is usually, I would say 99.99% of the time, yes. Just beware. If you can, some nationalities, if you obtain another citizenship, like British citizenship, you may lose your original citizenship. But that's of course not applicable to Filipinos, no, because we can be dual. Now, so two stages, I say. Now, the main thing that so let's just going back to the rumor that is, if you're not British now, that you can't get ever British now. Hindi po yun tama. It is just I think I know where that stems from. The rumor that's the case, but it's not true. Kung meron kang indefinite nga ngayon, hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi kayo na pwedeng maging British forevermore. I would say 90% of people can still, but they say the reason why I say 90% is there are very, very strict requirements not to do with character, and because there have been serious breaches, and from the Home Office point of view, there are serious character issues. It could be that they do refuse, some applicants got citizenship, so it can happen. But the majority of people applying, nandito sila, matagal na sila dito, indefinite nga sila. Some of them, a lot of them actually, did not even bother applying for the BRP when BRPs existed. The cards nga, no? And now they haven't even bothered applying for an e-visa, no? And so nag-aalala nga sila, anong ibig sabihin nito? Hindi na ba ako makabalik, no? So, but they nevertheless have indefinite leave to remain. So the majority of people will have indefinite leave to remain and can still apply nga successfully for naturalization. So yung chismis po na wala na, hindi ka na, kung ka-indefinite ka ngayon, kung hindi ka na nagpasok ng application, kung hindi ka na pwedeng mag-British, hindi po yung tama, no? Ang payo ko, kung nag-aalala nga kayo, just to have some certainty also, is seek advice, seek independent legal advice. And your solicitor should be able to tell you, no? Can you? If the answer is, well, there are issues, they will tell you what the issues are, likely. Should you still apply? Or is there no point? Because it's actually just so bad, the background, that there's no point doing it now or doing it even ever. No? I certainly, unfortunately, have come across people where it will be an issue forevermore for them to apply for citizenship. But there are not many of those. Okay? So the main, I would say, the top reason for refusal at the moment is character. So that's what we're going to focus on today. No? So in the past, character is also good character or indeed bad character. Were relevant, to an application when you make an application for naturalization, so eventually to get British citizenship. But their relevance, the issue of character, the relevance of character has become even more important, for the Home Office in the last, I would say, probably 10 years, certainly palpably so in the last 5 years, and definitely in the last 2 years. Okay, there have been changes made in 2023. I'll talk about those. Also, changes made actually relatively recently in February 2025. Okay, and both of those were focused now on character, and that will continue. Some parties have even said no forevermore. No, if there's there's even a hint of bad character, no forevermore. No? I don't think actually that will necessarily be the case, but you do have to be careful. So if you have indefinite now, settled status na nga kayo, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should apply for citizenship nga, really do consider it seriously, because for one thing, the fees keep going up. No, also it's entirely possible that it changes. So ang focus nga natin ngayon, as I say, is the issue of character. But before we launch into that, remember, kailangan yung pakita that you do satisfy the issue of your residency in the UK. Usually, it's 5 years. Kailangan yung pakita. The last 12 months must be indefinite. I know that the white paper has said, from this government nga, that gusto nang pahabain from 5 years to 10 years before you can apply for citizenship. So if you can apply now, don't delay it. Apply now. Other than that, so you're looking at the moment 5 years nga, last 12 must be indefinite, but that's only one requirement. There are other people can apply a bit sooner. As I said before, if you're married to someone, for example, British nga. Now, the other things that they're going to look at would be absences. Kung matagal kayong wala nga dito. So, kung lagi kang umuwi sa atin, tapos, so, bihira nga lang kayo dito, then it could be that the Home Office have issues with your residency in the UK. Are you really permanently resident in the UK? O hindi naman. So be careful with absences. But generally, for citizenship, kung gusto na makita, where it's 5 years nga is, you must be able to show that you've not been absent for more than 450 days in any given 5-year period, and no more than 90 days in the last 12 months. Okay, that's the general requirement absences nga. So 450 days. Well, 450 days is a year and was that a year and a half? No, it's like slightly short. But to be out of the country in the last 5 years for a year and a half, I mean that's beg the question as to whether or not you regard the UK to be your home. No? And then the last 12 months nga, 90 days. Okay, you must not be absent. So you need to calculate your absences. So you're on. Now, if you are not over the age of 65 at the moment, or you do not have medical conditions that exempt you from doing the test, then you have two things you need to satisfy: life in the UK test, yun ang mas mahirap, and the English language. The English language presently at the moment is still B1, but that's gonna go up to B2. I think that's probably gonna happen sometime soon. The B1 to B2 change is actually pretty substantial. B2 undoubtedly is harder. But for most of my clients, I would say concentrate on the life in the UK test, because that's really the thing that people find tricky. No? But kung hindi ka pumasa, just take it again. At the moment, there's no limit as to how much time how many times you can take it. Just keep taking it. No? You're not alone. It is not an easy test, and a lot of people have problems with it. And I would say, makalayanti ko, they probably pass on average third time. In the past, second time. I suspect it will probably get worse. You know, the average that I observe now. So, ang payo ko, if you don't pass, take it again. I think you have to wait 7 days before you can take it again. And of course, you keep paying the fee. But take it again and take it again. And you know, when you take it, it's practice ulit, no? So ang payo ko din, what sometimes works for my clients nga is they take it now, they don't pass, don't take it to heart, you know, they study, they take it again as soon as possible, because they look at it as kind of practice run, no? So don't despair. No? You're not alone. It's not easy. So you're looking at, I say, residency requirement nga, absences nga. You should, of course, you must not be absent for too long, and of course the issue of life in the UK and English language. But as I say, focus po natin ngayon is character, because that is the Home Office's focus. Anong titingnan nga nila? What characters do you need to declare? What character issues would be a problem? So they distinguish between really. So this is one of the changes. Nga, this happened on the 31st of July 2023. Okay, so before that, criminality has always been an issue. No? So if you've been convicted of something, but in the past, they made this distinction between convictions that were done that were a long time ago, what they often call spent convictions, but now they don't. It must be declared. It is relevant as to character, and that change happened on the 31st of July 2023. So not too long ago, but a little over 2 years. And then the thing they look at is there are two, if you like, camps. Character that will normally lead to a refusal, so they can and would normally refuse, or character that must lead to a refusal. So sabi nga, a person must be refused if they've done certain things. And the main thing they will be looking at is really if it's criminality, then normally that is a problem. So they would normally say if you've been convicted of something, you've been in prison, for example, normally that's a must refusal. Whereas other things it's not a must. So if you're worried and you certainly, there are circumstances always differ. It also depends on when that was. So see your solicitor. No, don't just say, oh no, I was convicted a year ago, whatever it is, and I can't, and you accept that. No, see a solicitor, get it checked. So there's the must refuse and that normally refuse. Okay, so it depends on circumstances. Now, very common question is driving and parking offenses. No, do they have to be declared? So if you have points, no, or fixed penalty nga, do they have to be declared? The answer is yes. The short answer is yes. You should declare them because they are relevant to character nga. So the road traffic offense, speeding, for example, so those pesky points, fixed penalty notices are technically not criminal convictions, but they can be a sign of bad character, if you're always doing it, wider behavior nga. Spent convictions, as I've said nga before, should be declared, so even though it was a long time ago, you should still declare it, because that actually is required. It's even on the guidance on the form nga. Also, financial soundness, bankruptcy basically, or have you been sued? Do you have debts? So again, they could be a non-payment of council tax, even, non-payment also of NHS debt, non-payment of debt to the Home Office. So all those things also are relevant. So you need to declare them. Another thing, and I like this one, notoriety ang tawag, notoriety. What does that mean? So basically, ibig sabihin, so if you are publicly expressing, how did they call it? Unsavory views on subject like race, religion, sexuality. So if you publish things, you go on your on Facebook, to say you make you express negative things. It could be that's bad character, so antisocial behavior, drug use, public drug use. Kung meron kayong kapitbahay nga lagi maingay, they keep you keep getting reported, excessive noise pollution. That would also be potentially character. Big one is deception or dishonesty. They normally, if they think that you have committed deception or dishonesty, an application for British citizenship will normally be refused for 10 years from the date that the deception was admitted or discovered. Okay, so there's a kind of 10-year, if you like, penalty before they would grant you your citizenship. Now, also overstaying, illegal entry, breaches of immigration, that also is that's also relevant. Okay, if you entered the United Kingdom, you then overstayed, that may well be relevant. At the moment, I've certainly had cases where they've said, no, we're not going to grant it, the citizenship, until 10 years after visa. You can make representations, and if you think that that's not it's not correct, then it's not an appeal issue but judicial review, which those of you who follow me regularly, judicial review is much more complex than an appeal. Now, another change happened on the 10th of February, so beginning of this year, 2025. Basically, sabi doon, you may be stopped from obtaining citizenship really as an adult. So that is particularly focused on, say, refugees or those seeking refugee status in the United Kingdom. I know that is there's ongoing litigation, that's being challenged. I think it is likely probably to be successfully challenged. So it's truly not it's not, they're not very they're quite strict with applying it. They can be quite harsh also in applying it. And I mean, also they have a general thing, they could you're not conducive to public good. Maybe because your associations, for example, not just that you were, it could be that you were convicted of a serious criminal offense, but it could be not. It's just you are associated with people who have serious criminal convictions. So conducive to public good, or rather not be conducive to public good. So it's not easy at the moment. So you can make representation. So ang payo ko sa mga kliyente ko, kung may problema, you must declare. Because if you don't declare it, then it's very likely that the Home Office may, well, if they find out, and most of the time they do find out, they may then say, oh, hindi nyo sinabi, nagsinungaling kayo. Then that becomes the problem, more of a problem than the actual issue that was not declared. So, for example, you had speeding tickets, you didn't declare it. So that then becomes the issue. That's, I mean, no, you sought to commit deception, and that may actually be worse, and that may lead to near permanent exclusion from becoming British, from citizenship, because you sought to deceive. So mas seryoso yun. So ang payo ko, if you think that there's an issue, even if it's something small, declare it, and also explain it. Maybe it happened a long time ago, or maybe there was a debt, but there was you wanted to go against it, but somehow you missed the deadline. Ganon, So explain it. If you have a background, you should definitely seek advice, because for one thing, if it's so bad, then yung abogado nyo sasabihin sa inyo, it's so bad that I wouldn't even bother, because of course it's quite expensive. I think it's I can't remember how much the Home Office fee is, because it keeps changing. I can never remember. I think it's £2,000 or thereabouts. But that's quite a lot of money, of course. So so the main thing at the moment, the Home Office focus when you're making an application for citizenship, for naturalization, the first stage of getting citizenship, or the stage before to get citizenship, is the issue of character. But don't forget the others, So even if you satisfy the character issue, if you've been absent for longer than you're allowed to be, then they're gonna refuse it. Or kaya if you have if you've not properly declared things, absolutely they may well refuse it. So be careful, po. Be careful. And if you're concerned about the time your absence is, just make a note of it. But do see a solicitor if you are concerned, especially kung may background kayo. But just going back to the chismis that I'm hearing so much of at the moment, they have not banned people from applying to become British, from obtaining citizenship. Hindi po yun tama. It's not. There's no ban against people applying for citizenship, and likewise, there's no ban against people applying for indefinite leave to remain, for residency in the United Kingdom. I hope also that it will never happen. What they're doing, though, is they are tightening up the conditions, and they are adding more restrictions, and they're certainly implementing the conditions. They look at things very, very carefully. You probably notice it's taking longer to deal with for applications to be dealt with than perhaps 3, 4, 5 years ago. Okay? And I think part of that, apart from manpower issues, I think part of that is just they are looking at things very, very carefully, and rightly so. So if you have indefinite leave to remain, so let me put it this way. Meron kang kalayante kanina no. So indefinite siya. She never bothered with the BRP, yung card nga. She hasn't bothered actually with the e-visa either. Matagal na nga siya dito. She's 68, 68 na nga siya. Sabi niya sa akin, hindi na ako pwede, nabalitaan ko, hindi na ako pwede maging British. And sabi ko sa kanya, no, don't be silly. You can be, and you don't even need to do the B1 test or the life in the UK, because you're over the age of 65, so she's actually exempt. So she definitely can, but yun ang balitaan niya. So kung ganun sitwasyon nyo, hindi po yun tama. You can still become British. And ang payo ko nga lang, if you can, do it now. Okay? Because we just don't know what changes there will be. Don't necessarily need to worry about what could be, because then you're worrying about everything. But if it's something anyway you want to do, ng payo ko, do it. No, and you should perhaps do it sooner rather than later. Okay, all right. I hope that was helpful to you. And sorry, I was going on a bit. Actually, you know, that is actually a truncated version of what I wanted to say. No, pinag-isi ko nga, lots and lots to say about citizenship, about issue of character. But anyway, we have limited time, so. Without further ado, we go to my favorite part, my favorite segment, which is the bati. And before we launch into our topics, into the questions now. So hopefully you're saying hello. No, tingnan ko nga. If you're watching, say hello. So sandali nga lang. Let me just see if I can get some of our hellos. No, so. Sorry, that's a problem with them with technology. It's not always kind to you. So let me just see if I can find my mga kaibigan natin who's saying hello. Let me just have a look nga. Let me have a look. Oh, May, sabi nga niya, no? So May Tibawargas. Hello and good evening, sabi niya, no? Attorney Lira, and to all the viewers, happy Thursday. God bless everyone. God bless May. How are you? No? How is Devon? No? I hope you're having a good. Actually, umuulan ba dyan? Umuulan dito. No, it's a little bit. Tsaka lamig, no? It's 2 weeks ago it was so warm, but ngayon nga it's. Miss Paner, Mariam Galicia Paner. Hello po, Tony, sabi niya. At sa lahat, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, madam. How are you? I hope you're inside, no? Kumain ka na? I haven't eaten yet. I had, well, actually saying that on a Thursday, that I have a kind of tea, no? Someone very kindly gave me a whole bunch of digestive biscuits, no? McVitie's pa, no? And it's you know who you are. She gave me like 6 packets, so I polished off 1 packet. I'm feeling a little bit ill now, actually. Egg guy, the great guy from London, no? Cold Thursday, tama ka, Egg guy. Attorney Lira, and to the viewers, I work from Canary Wharf today. I'm taking care of Justin now. Oh, Justin is little man, young man. Still good news, Attorney Lira, sabi niya, I'm still tap send ambassador. It's a money remittance to Pilipinas, no? Bonus of £15 for first-time users. £15, yeah? Looking forward to lots of learning again, and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egg guy, the great guy. Egg guy is a great guy. He really is. He really is. And you know, he also provides advice, no? It's he's a clever guy. Sarap. Guys, sabi niya, tingnan mo, nanonood, no? Definitely on. Sarap ng digestive dark chocolate with tea, please. Exactly. That's what I had. A packet, no, guy, ngayon. Definitely had that. Natalia de Guzman. Kamusta, madam? Mabuhay, malamig na gabi para sa lahat. Tama ka, no? Ang lamig. It doesn't feel like, I kind of lost track. I'd already forgotten about summer. It definitely autumn na nga, no? Actually, it feels a bit wintry already. But October pa lang naman tayo eh. So it does feel cold. Ma'am Cora! Sandali. Sabi niya, mabuhay, si Ms. De Guzman, mabuhay, malamig na gabi para sa lahat, no? And then after that, I'm sure I spotted Ma'am Cora. Sandali, let me have a look. Ma'am Cora Carsola. Hello, attorney, and everyone. Love and regards from Pinas. Ma'am Cora is in the Philippines, and sabi niya, no, a couple weeks ago, for good na daw. We miss you, Ma'am Cora. Are you well? No. Hopefully you're okay, no. Alam naman natin may bagyo tayong may bagyo and earthquake, no. Was it a week or 2 ago, no? Yeah. Ms. De Guzman, good topic again. Salamat, ha. It's I try to always be relevant, no? And I do listen to. I have the advantage of, because I see clients regularly, no. I have the advantage of knowing what is relevant, no. So sandali nga lang. I didn't now read. Hot coffee is best this cold season, sabi niya. I do like my coffee. I do. I like also the ground coffee, you know. But I do like tea. I like tea. I like tea with digestive biscuits. Miss Rafael. We missed you, Miss Rafael. Hello, sabi niya. So, hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, and everyone. Happy Thursday to all. And enjoy watching. Salamat po, Miss Rafael. I hope you're well. Actually, I was looking at my, I was thinking about you because I logged on to my Wimbledon account to see if I got tickets for Wimbledon, because in October, sabi nila, you're going to email those who were successful in the ballots, no? Watching from home in Wimbledon. Yeah. Miss Rafael lives in the very known place, Wimbledon nga, as in tennis nga, no? So I logged on to my Wimbledon account to see if I was successful with the ballot nga. I haven't received anything yet. Tingnan natin. Sabi nila October, so it'll be now. But I was thinking about you as I was logging on. I wonder how Miss Rafael is. Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones, a cold Thursday evening. Oh, I agree with that. And all viewers, no, another dagdag kaalaman night for us to enjoy. Love Miss Jones. We love Miss Jones. She's, I say this every time, no, but she's a great dancer. Miss Paner, Mariam Galicia Paner. Opo, I'm okay. Salamat po. Oh, I mean, it's great that you're watching no, throughout. At saka it's Miss Paner and I have actually been together 5 years na, no, Miss Paner, di ba? 5 years na tayo. Oh no, mahigit na, because I think I've been broadcasting since about 2020, no, di ba? 2020 ata. So 2025 na tayo. Gosh, so astonishing. So fast, no? So fast. Oh, Carolyn Tan. Hello, Miss Tan. Kamusta po? Are you well? I hope you're inside. I hope you're having a cup of tea. No, better yet, I hope you are having dinner or you've had dinner nga, no? So now, if you haven't had dinner, don't have dinner yet, no? Tapusin muna natin to. We have lots of questions. So this is one of our questions. I like this one, no? So sabi niya dito, is there already a law that allows the deportation of people with indefinite leave to remain? No, ILR, no? Has it been implemented? Now, unang-unang payo ko, look at our broadcast from last week, no? Because that talked exactly about this, no? And we had over 1,000 views, one of the highest views we've had, because it's obviously concerning people. So, ang sagot ko po, no, there's no deportation against people with indefinite leave to remain. Hindi po. And that's also, I know that, ang chismis nga, and certain parties are saying this, that, or the other nga, and then it then is added to, no, it's embellished by more chismis nga. But no, there's no deportation of those people with indefinite leave to remain. Hindi po, no? And it's so, because there's no such law, no, at this stage nga, and therefore it's not been implemented because there's nothing to implement. So wag kayong mag-alala. So kung ang sitwasyon niyo po indefinite nga kayo ngayon, and you're thinking, baka hindi na ako pwedeng lumabas, dahil hindi na ako papabalikin nga dito o dadamputin ako. No, hindi po tama. Chismis lang yun. So it is, rest assured, kung meron kayong indefinite leave to remain, unless you've done something that would lead them to rescind your indefinite leave to remain, no, you're not conducive to public good, then there's nothing to worry about. What you do, what you should worry about, and it's nowhere near, this deportation nga, just because you're not British. Hindi po yun. What you should worry about is, okay, indefinite ka na, but how do you prove that? Do you have an NTL with no time limit? No, can you prove it by way of an e-visa, for example? Or indeed, do you want to apply now for naturalization? So maging dual ka. So wag kayong mag-alala. I mean, I hope that I've emphasized that sufficiently. So is there a law? Question: is there a law that allows the deportation of people with indefinite leave to remain? No, not a general law that's like that. They always have been. It's not new. If you are someone who has committed such a serious crime, it could. Because and you've been put in prison for it, it could be na pwede lang babayin yung indefinite mo. But it has to be something like that. Oh, also, if you've been away from the country longer than 2 years, continuously. I think that's one of our questions, mamaya nga also. But this business about, oh, kung definite ka na, babawiin nila, papabalikan ka na, hindi po yung tama. So I hope that I have allayed your fears at least a little bit. Okay? Now, I'm sure meron pa tayong mga questions so sandali nga to. Okay, so I came to the UK in 2017 as an international student, then switched to a skilled worker visa in 2020. I've now been continuously living here for 8 years. Can I combine the years under both visas to qualify for indefinite leave to remain? Or do I need to start counting from the time I got my skilled worker visa? Again, I like this, because it's quite relevant. I have a lot of clients who are affected, who have this similar situation. So the 10 years, so you entered the UK in 2017, changed over a skilled worker in 2020. So what do you need to show? What time scale? So you can apply for indefinite leave to remain under the private life route if you can show that you've been in the United Kingdom a minimum of 10 years. So the student visa, at least at that point in 2017, would count towards that, and also the skilled work visa. So basically, 2017, that then takes you to 2027, but the application will be made under the private life route. Now, so you're looking at 2027, which actually is not long from now. Now, you got your skilled work visa, though, in 2020, so even better. At the moment, unless the law changes, because they want to extend the 5 years to 10 years now, but at the moment, if you have a skilled work visa, you need to be able to show 5 years leave to remain in the UK on that visa, and then you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So at the moment, under the skilled work visa, pwede ka na magpasok ngayon. If you have been, because 2020 plus 5 years is 2025. So you're probably entitled now. So tingnan mo yung visa mo. So if you have 5 years, effectively, you can make an application under that. And ang payo ko, don't delay, because that's likely to change. So do it sooner rather than later. Don't forget, kailangan mo yung Life in the UK test and the English language, the B1. Yeah, at the moment, still B1. That's going to go up to B2. So I hope that's helpful. Do it now. Okay. Now, so we have another question. So, okay. So, this one is to do with returning resident. I was granted indefinite leave to remain back in 2018. I had to go back to the Philippines to look after my sick father. It's been a little over 2 years now, and I'm planning to return to the UK permanently. Will my ILR, the indefinite leave to remain, still be valid, or do I need to apply for a new visa, like a returning resident visa? I've maintained my UK bank account and still have property there. Will that help my case? Again, relevant, though, no relevant question. Now, because you indefinite ka na, you left the UK for over 2 years continuously, to look after your father nga. So continuously, 2 years, wala, hindi ka bumalik dito. Tapos gusto mong bumalik. So because you've been away continuously for 2 years from the United Kingdom, then your visa, your indefinite leave mo, is automatically, they didn't need to do anything about it, automatically ended. So wala na. Now, what you can do, though, if you want to get it back, and what you would then get back is the indefinite leave to remain, the return is to apply, as you already looked at, said so, is the returning resident visa. Okay, so you need to make that application. So to succeed with that application, kailangan pakita that you maintain strong ties to the UK. So it's certainly question mo, bank account, you have property here, absolutely they help. Okay, so you need to prove. So you should perhaps provide yung bank account mo, yung ginagamit mo ba, money's going in there, that then you use. For example, your property, if that's let out, is it only on a short-hold tenancy with the view that you come back? Also say why it is that you couldn't come back to the UK. I mean, malalabang tatay mo dati. I mean, what's happened now has passed away, for example, no? So you do need to explain, and this is where I think statements nga, parang affidavit, are useful. So it's important that you also explain nga, ano bang dahilan, no? And for returning residents, one of those applications that I do think you should consider getting legal advice, because it can be quite complex, and importante nga that you put in as much evidence as you can, because if you succeed, di mababawi mo yung indefinite mo. So then you have again indefinite leave to remain, settled status in the UK. Good luck. Let me know what happens. Whoever actually asks us questions, you never tell me what happens. So please tell me what happens. Okay. It's like reading a book, no? Tapos, or watching a film, and then you don't see the end. So tell me what happens. Keep me informed. Huh? And so this is another question. My skilled worker visa expired 3 weeks ago, but my employer submitted the sponsorship renewal application before the expiry date. I'm still waiting for a decision from the Home Office. I've been offered a new job. Can I switch employers while my visa is under review, or will that count as overstaying? Okay, so let's just clarify now. So visa, your leave to remain in the UK is quite different from the sponsorship license. No? So I'm assuming na sabi mo nga dito, yung visa mo expired 3 weeks ago, but before that you applied for your extension of leave to remain. That's what I'm assuming you mean by this, no? And it could be that at the same time your sponsor's license was also applied for, so renewed nga. But in any event, you applied before your visa was going to finish, so you're waiting for that. Now, the guidance say you must apply before your current visa expires. So on that basis, you should wait until you receive your new visa, and then after that, then apply to change over to your new employer. So remember, kailangan niyang bigyan ka ng COSA, the certificate of sponsorship. So sabi mo dito, you've been offered a new job. Siguraduhin mo that they are willing to provide you with a certificate of sponsorship. Hindi lang basta-basta, no? Na lilipat ka. So you should. And by the way, you can't start your new job until you've received confirmation of your new visa. So importante po yun. Good luck. No, it's I hope I know a lot of people are worrying, especially nga kung ang status nga nila dito is employment. So it's I know it's a concern. Good luck. But do tell me again, like as with the others nga, sabi mo sa akin anong nangyari. You don't have to necessarily message us on whilst we're having our show, but at least email me. So for all of you, I want to know what happened. I mean, if you can share it with all of us, even better. But I would like to know what happened. And did you encounter any problems? Now, so I hope that was of help to you, and I hope you found that interesting. I always find it interesting, but okay, law is something I'm passionate about, particularly immigration law, and I hope that comes across nga. And I hope it's also of help not to you. It's batian, balitaan, chismisan. So it's quite nice. And so salamat po ulit for keeping me company. Always an absolute pleasure. Now, so just leaves me really to say, salamat po to you all for posting your questions, for keeping me company, for watching. As I say, last week we had over 1,000 views. So hopefully we beat it again. We beat it this time. This week sharing is caring. Share our content it's free, so share it. And go back also to if you want to have a look also what had happened in the past, especially last week when I dealt with indefinite leave to remain. Have a look. It's on our Facebook. Egay sabi niya dito, sasabihin ko attorney na what happened next? Kakain ako ng digestive with tea after this. You're so funny, guy. Yeah, I tell you what, unfortunately, iniiwan ko sa opisina yung digestives ko. All like 6 packets of them. No, 5 now because I demolished one. So yeah, so I can't. But anyway, I should eat proper dinner, no? But enjoy, guy. Absolutely enjoy. I hope I'll be thinking of you tomorrow. Sa umaga, I will likely have my digestives for breakfast. Don't do what I do. No, it's not very good for you. Digestive cookies for breakfast, not really good. But anyway, so thank you very much again, no, for allowing us to our Facebook groups, allowing us to post our contents on your page nga, and of course, to everyone that's watching. Salamat po. It's always a pleasure, and I hope that our topic and our questions nga have been of use to you. So as usual po, we will have our broadcast next Thursday, no? Every Thursday between 7:30 and 8:30 live from London, England, no? So it just leaves me to say really thank you very much again for joining me at Lira and Law. I hope you'll be able to join me next week. See you again, same time, same place. Bye.